preparing for a layout visit to your layout. I recently had a group of friends come to visit my layout, and in order to best prepare, I tried to find a video on YouTube giving you some tips and pointers how to prepare for a layout visit, and I was quite surprised not to find any videos on this topic. So today I want to give a few pointers on how to prepare for a layout visit or how to host a layout visit. The first thing, make sure that your layout is nice and clean. Vacuum the dust off the layout, and I have got a variety of vacuum cleaners. I will show you some of them now. This is one of my favorites, a mini vacuum cleaner, and this box contains the vacuum cleaner plus an attachment with a brush plus a little angular tube plus the dust collection bag. And this one runs on 4 AA batteries, and it works quite well to reach all those difficult to reach places. In one of my YouTube videos I actually show how to make a small parts vacuum cleaner, and this is done by attaching a bottle cap to your existing shop vac pipe, and then I also made this extended pipe and a bottle, and I normally put a stocking or a sock over the vacuum hose, and the bottle just screws onto that, and that also gives you a small area to vacuum, especially amongst fine details, so that helps quite a bit in cleaning up the layout. Another tool that I find quite handy is just a soft makeup brush. This helps to lift the dust, and then you can just vacuum with either one of those 2 vacuum cleaners held close to where you are brushing, and it will suck the dust off the layout. Once the scenery is clean, the next and almost most important step is making sure that your trains run flawlessly, and that normally has 2 requirements: clean wheels and clean track. To clean the wheels, I employ a few different methods. One of them is using the brush that connects to the track, and you hold it over the locomotive wheels, and it picks up power from both sides and it brushes the wheels. The other option is to use a cotton wool bud and some contact cleaner on the wheels, and also make sure to clean the actual pickup points. Many of the locomotives have them behind the wheels with a brass wiper running on the wheel, to clean that contact point and make sure that the locomotive wheels are nice and shiny, no dirt on the flanges or on the tread, and then cleaning the track. Cleaning the track is accomplished in one of 2 ways. The least preferred method is to use a track cleaning rubber. This normally leaves a bit of residue in little pieces that fall off once you clean the track, so not very advisable, but I must admit I sometimes do use them if I have painted my track and weathered the track. Just for the initial cleaning I do tend to use these, but very limited. Then more frequently used are track cleaning cars, and I have one that is homemade, having a masonite block underneath the car, and that just runs on the tracks, and that will clean the top of the rails. This one is a bought one with the same idea, but that has got like a rubber track cleaning pad underneath, and what I do is I spray either the masonite block or that rubber pad with contact cleaner and run that around the layout a couple of times at a slow to medium speed, and that cleans the top of the rails very nicely, making sure that there's good contact all the way around. Now that takes care of the layout. Then there are two more aspects to think about, and that is your visitors. Make sure they know how to get to your house. Google Maps have made it easy. You can simply send them a pin and they should be able to arrive at your place quite easily. The other thing that I find that helps, especially if it's a large group of visitors, or sometimes even 2 or 3 different groups of visitors, is to equip them with name tags. Well, there's my own one, and the visitors that came, there's some of their tags. So they just clip that onto their clothing and they're no longer strangers. You don't have to ask, sorry, what's your name? If you don't know them. I find this helps quite a bit. Also during operating sessions, you find sometimes you get a guest operator and nobody knows his or her name. So name tags are not essential, but it does make it nice to be able to call the person by their name. Since we are social beings, we also like to socialize around a cup of tea or a glass of liquid refreshment, and sometimes having a bite to eat. Most of us will have a rule in place saying no refreshments on the layout itself, or some are even so strict as not to allow any refreshments in the layout room, or as my layout is situated in my garage, I do not have a very strict rule regarding refreshments in the garage, but I do have a rule of no drinks or eats upon the layout itself. And to help in that respect, I have made very dedicated drink holders. I will show you one of them now. Here you can see a very simple piece of woodwork that acts as a cup holder or drink holder, and you can put your drink on there safely. It will not spill and it is not on the layout. I have 4 of these situated around the layout, so there is more than enough depending on how many operators. The others can simply use the workbench behind me. That is normally nice and clean for an operating session or a layout visit. And the drinks and eats can be stored there as well, or in the dedicated drinks holders. Then when it comes to refreshments, also it is nice to have that prepared beforehand, a table set out. I am in the lucky situation that I have got an office, a home office right next door to the garage, and I can use the kitchen from the home office, setting out the glasses for cool drinks and cups for tea and coffee and the kettle, everything there. And I will do that on the morning before the visitors arrive, so that when they arrive, all I need to do is to switch on the kettle and open the packet of biscuits or what other snacks there are, and put that on the plate so that everything is ready, and then the visitors can enjoy some refreshments, and with the refreshments, once that is done, they can walk around into the garage and come and have a look at the layout. And to make the layout more interesting, I know a lot of people like to just browse around, but my layout is such that there are many hidden details. So in order to help the visitors to see these hidden details, I have actually made a list of 45 details that I give them in hand. It's a laminated sheet, and say find these details, so it will help them to look for specific scenes that they otherwise might miss. Here is one of the detail hunt, as my daughter would call it, lists, and there's 45 little items on this list, and many of them, and there's 3 columns, one listing the item, then a second column that the person can tick with a whiteboard marker saying I found it, or a third column that says help me find it. This one, it just says show me. So if they hand me this, I can say, well, you have not seen where's the baby in the pram on the layout, and I can take them straight to that point and show them there's the baby in the pram on the layout. Or there's cats, or a bicycle, or a lathe, whatever the small detail is that is hidden. Some of these details are actually hidden inside buildings. Others are in areas where you wouldn't normally look, like behind a building. But it just makes it a bit more fun and keeps the interest going and depicts real life. For instance, on my layout there are 2 drug dealers hiding behind a building on the harbour. Now that is normally where you would find them. If you're in the police force, then that's where you would most probably go and look somewhere where it's secluded, reasonably safe from prying eyes, etc., etc. So the 2 drug dealers were right there. I hope this has helped you a little bit if you have to host a layout visit in how to prepare, and I trust that you will have a wonderful visit and good comments from your friends and club, whoever is visiting. So all of the best, and enjoy the best hobby in the world of model railroading.